But as you're writing and you're writing the words that is your self-care, and you're no doubt utilizing some of the wicked traumas that you're hearing about day in and day
Mm.
out, because these are the people that you're helping, which is incredible in itself. That is a really rewarding experience, and I'm so glad that you
Yeah.
are doing it. As much work as you put into it, that's the heroic stuff. But as you're doing that, Aaron, do you find that you've gotten some unexpected insights maybe into your own psyche as a result of this, or maybe some insight into the psyche of some of the people that you're helping out, where you maybe had some aha moments, whether it's understanding or, hey, I have a better idea of maybe how to direct this person, or how to direct yourself through your own self-care, or otherwise therapeutic approaches?
That's a really interesting question. I think the things that I've learned through working in this particular industry is that I, like anyone else, love to think that I have the resiliency to never be affected by it, but do have that vulnerability. I think that if I didn't and wasn't at risk at it, I wouldn't be well suited to it. That's what empathy is. One of the great boundaries that you need to learn to adapt your thinking to is to be able to empathize with people, but not to sympathize, because that is the slippery slope to really doing yourself in, because you start to see yourself continuously in those that you are helping. What I do is I cut that off, and that's where the writing aspect of it that's where I get to sympathize with people. I think the thing that I've learned is that I am susceptible to vicarious trauma, that it is something that's not just this theoretical thing that they warn you about. It is something that absolutely does happen. And if you don't address it, it is like acid chewing through your day, your your body and your home life. So I think that's something that I've absolutely learned. I've definitely looked and worked with people who I can see myself in, and that is often quite rattling. People who you realize, if I had made one or two decisions different in my life, that I could be the one in need of desperate assistance.
Yeah.
But also there are moments where you do see people where, and I'm very grateful for the privileges that have been awarded to me, which include, for example, not inheriting an addiction in vitro, you know what I mean, or not having acquired brain injuries or addictions that were formed, or trauma that was inherited before I was even born, or in my early development. So I think I definitely have really, really strong boundaries, but humanity does slip through. Like, we're kind of a slippery species like that.
Yeah.
But I think that it is that vulnerability that makes you well suited to the role. So I guess those are the things that I've seen and learned about myself. But however, I do need to allow myself to feel sad about things sometimes, or to be excited about what I learn from people out on the field. There will be people who I meet who have insights about the universe that I've never thought of before. And it comes from hitting rock bottom in certain circumstances in ways that I haven't fortunately had to in my life. And whilst I've never kind of taken someone's story, I've certainly tapped back into the way they've made me feel when it comes to my fiction. I genuinely have. And often that comes around to the having to look for hope in the utter darkness of despair. And it's there somewhere. You just may only see the shape of hope. It might be just but it also might be somebody in the corner waiting for you. Like that's the end, but that's where the horror element kind of kicks in, I guess, to some degree too.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Dark Bites, your destination for uncovering the greatest voices working in dark culture entertainment today. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. And most importantly, please do give the like button some skin, because it not only declares your mutual love for this dark thing of ours, but it also tells YouTube algorithm powers that be to spread the word about this channel's content, which ultimately helps us all out. Thanks for visiting Dark Bites. I appreciate you. I wouldn't be here without you, and I do hope you'll come back again. Until then, fellow horror lovers, stay hungry, stay dark.